Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, May 13th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here the ES has sold off pretty strongly here to begin the week. Outside, bearish outside day on Monday, a steady continuation through Wednesday, down tremendously yesterday with a stop run day down 200+% of ADR day yesterday, significant. What we were looking for is now a strong low, some bookend low from that high that would suggest that we could bounce back and perhaps develop some key range at these highs. So if we're looking at the high of the month, the current low of the month, which is the overnight low right now, we could be looking at a bounce back toward the midpoint of that range for an impulse move there. That would give us about 41.33 as that target. So we could be looking at a bounce back toward that zone over the next 1 to 2 days. If this is a strong enough low. Now looking at this low, the rejection of the previous session's low and close looks fairly decent. You're looking at a pretty solid reversal already in overnight and pre-market trading. This could certainly lead to more strength if price can remain above the 40.50 level heading into the rest of the day. A failure to hold 40.50 could open up more downside ahead. So this is cautiously optimistic for a bounce, not only back toward the previous session's midpoint, but again, if this low remains intact, we may be headed back to the mid of this impulsive sell-off. That'll give us a new key range to work with at these highs. Let's take a look at the NQ. Similar price action here. This one also down significantly in the previous session, not quite as bearish as the ES or the YM for that matter, but we have seen a rejection of the previous session's low. Very similar to the ES right now. Higher low above that level could lead to more strength ahead. For example, any retest into about 13K could lead to a continuation higher. Again, back toward yesterday's midpoint, but also perhaps back toward the impulse move of the recent sell-off. So we've seen weakness since the beginning of the month. Lower high here led to a significant pullback here. Can price hold above 13K in the near term and get this thing back toward 13.4? Or do we see another lower high lead to lower price levels ahead? So this is going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. Right now, any bounce into 313 could be an indication of another opportunity for bears to defend for a continuation downward. So bulls really need to be able to get back above that level at some point down the road. Right now, short term directional conviction is higher until proven otherwise on the intraday time frame, and 13K is the level to watch. Let's take a look here at crude oil. You'll see crude for the most part down 2% here today. This one had a shot to really get going to the upside and just couldn't seal the deal at the highs of the day. Was attempting to push through into the previous week's high and just couldn't get there. Sold off into the close, and now we're seeing a pullback here today, again down 2% here and still holding within this trading range. It's about 64 up to about 67. The trend remains higher. You can see an uptrending market. We've talked about 64s being that key area of support. If price can continue to hold 64s, we still have a shot to bounce and go get those 67.98. So right now 64, again, the key level to watch here for crude oil on an intraday basis. Let's take a look now at gold futures. Gold right now down just modestly here. The previous session pulled back here, outside sell signal, pulling back into the rising PIMA trigger zone here. Again, this market has been bullish ever since the higher low. We got to push through a higher high here, another higher low in continuation. Was able to hold the 1765s, now able to hold the 1800s or push through it. What I mentioned before was we could theoretically pull back as deep as 1800 and still be an opportunity to push this thing higher still. So right now this is the pullback phase ahead of what could be the next rally ahead. That next rally could begin to take us into the 1850s and perhaps as high as 1870, 430 or beyond. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.